Vi står här då på första dagen av IM World Championship i Katowice, Polen, och vi står här med Gambit Gamings coach, Leviathan. Hey dude, what's up?
Enjoying the event so far?
Okay, so obviously you're here like at the first international tournament of 2015. What does it feel like?
Well, it's pretty exciting because you get to face all the teams from different regions. I'm very excited to play against the Koreans, North American teams as well. A lot of hype if we manage to face one of them. So just, yeah, really taking it in, and it's going to be a pretty exciting tournament, I think.
So obviously, like Gambit was sort of the team to watch. You and HGK were like the teams to watch, probably still are in the ULCS, because both of you had those insanely long winning streaks. You like went 7-0 before you went defeated. So like, what came about it? Was it your style of coaching, or was it just that the team eventually just clicked? Like, what happened?
Well, I think one of the biggest issues was we didn't have internet, and I was still in Canada. So I think once we were able to establish our training and actually start training, you were able to see the results come out. So the early losing streak, as I actually expected it, but I didn't expect like 0-5. I expected maybe like 1-4 or something like that. But I just kept reinforcing to the team, like, guys, like, we're training, we get better every day, like our goal leads, we're lasting longer in games, and eventually we're going to start winning. And then I think just like once we got the first win and the second win, it just, not only our game was elevated, but our confidence was there too. And coming into this tournament, we've had it's just been really good, and I'm really happy with how the team is coming along so far.
Obviously, like the biggest win in that streak initially was when you managed to defeat Fnatic, who, like, even though they're the second place, they've always, like, in comparison to SK, they've always lost the odd game here and there, while SK was undefeated. So I mean, what did that do for the team when, like, you just get the ball rolling, then all of a sudden, like, oh wow, we beat the second place team? Like, what did that do for the team?
Well, we kept the idea in mind that they were a beatable team because they play. Like, I think they play one style, or at least then at the time, but they play that one style really, really well. And we were lucky enough to have them as like practice partners. We scrim them, I think, minimum once a week, and we're able to, analyze their game plan, come up with a game plan that we think would be successful against them. And going into the game, we expected ourselves to win, and so like actually picking up the win and seeing that when we plan something out that it can be successful is, again, like you said, like a super big confidence boost. Everyone was super happy about it, and we were just able to keep the ball rolling.
I mean, you've been in a position where you've arguably been able to coach many of like the EU giants from like season 2, when you coach back for Alliance, and now also when you have Diamond Prox and Edward like also on a team. What's it like? Because obviously Gambit didn't end the last split like looking all too solid, and they just barely managed to make it back into this season. But like, and then having them also go 0-5, I think it was in the beginning of the split, like. Was it hard trying to like convince these players that maybe having thoughts of maybe I'm past my prime to just say no, you're still a good player, like, is it hard to like coach them in that way since they're set in their ways maybe,
No, because the thing was I came for the start of the second week, and as soon as I came, like, I told them, like, we're probably going to lose some games, guys. Like, I even said it right before, like when we were 0-2, because we have a saying, like, it's a process, and we knew that we had to look at our game and basically figure out all the things that we do wrong, and then we came up with a list of like 10, 20 things, and then just sorted the list by what was most important. So, like, for example, it's impossible to train your mid-game if your early game is weak. So we just tried to, hit the things that were important for us to be successful in the game, and then just week by week, the players could see it themselves. And so even though we would go 0-3, 0-4, it wasn't demotivating because we could still see the progress, and we knew, next week we're going to come back and, we're going to keep these games closer, and then eventually we're just going to take them on, and, we're going to win these games. So as far as like keeping the players motivated, we had to talk early, and so whenever I saw a frowny face, I was like, hey man, don't worry, like, in a couple weeks we're going to be gods. So there was no issues.
You've obviously got two very young, or comparatively young players in the team, Pinoy and now Betsy, actually. And I mean, from your perspective as a coach, are they easily coachable? Do you like mold them to play a specific style, or are you like loose with how you like make them play?
Well, it's really easy with Pinoy because he has a background of just sports. He loves his basketball. He loves watching sports and football and the like. So he understands the sports dynamics. So whenever I I have a sports background myself, so whenever I suggest something, he just gets it immediately, and he understands the rules of coach and player. Cabochard, I believe the French translation for Cabochard is stubborn, and it fits him very, very well. He's a very stubborn man, but he's been improving in his team play the whole time. Our communication is very open. Whenever he says something or does something that isn't constructive for the team environment, I point it out and he corrects it. With Betsy, he's super mild-mannered. He knows the role he has to play. Like, we established it from the beginning. Like, Betsy, you're our mid laner. You're new. It's going to be tough. But we'll work with you. And he's been coming along really well. His performance in game has been great. I was worried that when he entered LCS, that he would be nervous on stage, but he always says no, it's just the game. Like, sure, you look out on stage and you see a lot of people, but once you're in game, you're in game. And he has a super good attitude towards the game. I don't think the new players, how do I say it? The new players, the team, the younger players, they're fitting in just fine. They're understanding their roles and they're contributing to the team in a positive manner.
So obviously here in Katowice, then you're going to be playing CJ Entus in your first game.
Yeah.
And that's obviously I'm just gonna assume that that's the fiercest opposition that the team's ever faced. In the past year, perhaps. So I mean, how how's the team prepared for it?
So I always tell my players to turn the name tags off in the game, because you're not supposed to play the person, you're supposed to play the player, or no, play the champion. Of course, you can research tendencies and all that, and some things are person specific, but you can't look at you have to treat your opponents equally with the amount of respect, because if you go into a game and disrespecting your opponents, you can get blown out. You go into a game over respecting your opponents, maybe you don't take a shot that you could take. And second guess yourself. So as far as CJ goes, I think we're aware that CJ is a strong team, but through our research, we've identified some holes in their game that we're confident that if we execute our game plan, that we'll be successful. So there's no real intimidation. Even Betsy, who's a young player, saying man, I want to play against Coco and I want to beat him. Not in a cocky or anything matter, but he's not intimidated from Coco. So I think it's going to be a good match, and there's no butterflies on our side. We're ready to win.
Okay then, and I guess just maybe looking forward for Gambit then, what are your plans in terms of where do you aim in the LCS following this, or maybe even in this tournament, where do you think that you can realistically place?
Well, my opinions are never realistic. I've been known as the delusional one. I think we haven't hit our ceiling yet. Every day we still get better, and we've shown in LCS that we can win games with our 7 out of 8 game, or however many games we've won in a row. Skip the H2K game, but and in scrims we talk about the game and we think up something new and we think, oh, okay, well, we're going to try this game, and it works and it's successful, and the team is super interested in just growing, and I honestly think that I want to win spring. I at least want to go to the finals. Yeah. I think that is a realistic goal, whether we win the finals or not. I think if we get SK or Fnatic, we have a realistic chance, but we haven't solved H2K as of now. So I think H2K would be our toughest opponent. But long term, I see us going to Worlds. I see us doing well at Worlds, and I signed up for this to win Worlds. I didn't sign up for this to finish anything less than first. So it wouldn't be smart for me to say that we couldn't win it. So I'm going to do everything that I can, and I'm sure the players want to just as badly. So realistically, I think we finished top 2 this split. I want to win, and then it's either Worlds or bust.
Okay. Well, I don't really have much more to add. So any final words?
No, thank you to our sponsor Pringles, and thank you to all the fans that support us, and we hope to do you guys proud at IEM.
Thanks.
Thank you.